I believe everyone should have a broad knowledge of everything. That's why I go to a liberal arts school, Penn State University, home to 40,000 students. Name a class, and we've got it. In my last semester, I had 6 credits. I could take whatever I wanted. And of course, I could take history, philosophy, biology, sociology, but that just wasn't going to cut it. I wanted to take something fun, so I went to the schedule of courses and started my search. I came upon dairy judging, and I thought, hey, this could be interesting. When I first got to class, I was definitely intimidated. They were all animal science majors and knew a lot about cows. That's my cattle teacher, Dale Oliver. He's a pretty cool guy. And there's my TAs, Logan and Liz. They have a lot of experience in dairy judging. They're going to help me throughout the semester. So here I am. I have 9 weeks to become as fluent in cows as I am in college life. I hope I don't screw it up. I definitely had to do a lot of studying to catch up to the rest of the class. We did a lot of practicing, judging cattle, and giving supportive reasons to our TAs to back up our placements.
The scorecard that we've taught the students in class is broken down into 4 main categories. The most important one's udder. The categories within that are most important is udder depth, which is how far off the ground the udder is. Also, the rear udder attachment and the fore udder attachment, which is where the udder is attached. That has to be strong. And also udder cleft, teat size, teat placement all constitute the udder category. The second most important part of the scorecard is dairy strength. It's ribs. That's the main place you focus on the cow when you're evaluating. You don't want a dairy cow to be fat because that keeps them from, they're using their energy to put fat on their body rather than making the milk. Also, they need to be strong and wide through their front end. That's all part of dairy strength. The third most important category is the rear feet and legs. If the cow can't walk, they won't be profitable and they won't last for a long time. You don't want a cow's rear legs to be too straight or too curved. You also don't want them to hawk in from behind. You want them to stand up on their toes more because that just helps them last longer. The last part of the scorecard is frame, which is how tall and how long the cow is from end to end. You also want them to be straight over the top line. The 2 most important categories in frame is front end and rump. You want the rump to be straight. So that's basically the breakdown of the scorecard.
I met a boy named Nate. He was my partner the first day we gave reasons. He was really nice. He helped me out a lot. However, I was still scared for my competition. So I went to Nate's farm to learn a little bit more about dairy cows. When I first got to Nate's farm, I saw a live cow for the first time, and man, are they huge. I was a little scared. I might still have a fear of animals. I'm not gonna lie, I've definitely run away from 1 or 2 of the squirrels on campus. Nate showed me around the farm. I got to see where they birth the cattle, where they feed the cattle, how to milk a cow, and I even got to taste the milk. After I tasted it, Nate decided to tell me it was unpasteurized. The semester flew by, and in just 9 short weeks, it was time for me to compete in my very first real cattle judging competition.
You'll be judging 6 classes today.
Hosted by the Pennsylvania State University for 4-H, FFA, and collegiate members. We would be graded on our accurate placings and evaluations of cows. After the contest, we were given 15 minutes to memorize the reasons we placed the class the way we did. I was still really nervous, but I had to remember the advice that Dale and Logan gave to me before the contest.
The wisdom that I would have for Jackie and all of her classmates is to remain calm. Just realize that when you have 4 animals, there's only 24 possible ways to place them, and your placing is probably as defendable as anybody else's.
Words of wisdom for the contest tomorrow. When I did the contest last year, I did poorly because I argued with the Reasons officials. So I'd say never argue or really ask them questions.
Good afternoon. I placed this Holstein 4-year-old class 4-2-3-1. I placed 4 over 2. 4 has a higher and wider rear udder. She has more bloom to her udder, and she has more texture to her udder. She also has more openness to her ribs and a more desirable set to her feet and legs. I do grant that 2 had more desirable slope from her hooks to her pins.
One had udder issues, and you brought that out in the reasons, and I mean that's where you gain points. Okay, even if you don't have the class placed correctly, because you saw she had udder problems, and you had her on the bottom, which they had her placed on the bottom. I don't know that I agreed with that, but anyway, but she had udder problems, and that's why you placed her on the bottom. That was very good. So that was a nice set. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I placed 4 out of the 6 classes correctly and did pretty well for my first cattle competition. Dale was proud of me. I guess that makes me an official dairy judger. I didn't know what to expect, but it turned out to be an extremely rewarding experience. Not only do I now have an immense knowledge of dairy cows, but I acquired a lot more skills than I ever thought I would have. It really goes to show that when you step out of your comfort zone, you get introduced to a world of opportunities.